to the OhioRAAM Show.
Well, hello, everyone. This is Jim Lawyer here, and you're watching live the OhioRAAM Show, the show about UltraCycling and all things RAM. Hey, Lee, how's it going?
Hey, we're here and glad to see you with us, Jim.
Yes,
you're
thank
not
you.
in Borrego Springs, where you're
Unfortunately
supposed to
not.
be.
Yes, unfortunately not. We had a little work issue that we could not get out of and ruined our plans. So
That work is a four-letter word.
I know, it's terrible. You know, we got to get our priorities straightened out again.
Well, do like me, just retire and be done with it and so forth. Hey, we come here because of the wonderful people that operate our time stations here in Ohio. 41 in Oxford, Ohio, 42 in Blanchester, 43 in Chillicothe. And, well, maybe there might be another one sometime, might there, Jim?
Maybe so. Yet to be determined. We'll see what happens.
Well, let's see what happens.
There you go.
Jim, let's get to the news.
Yeah, all of us here at OhioRAAM, and I'm sure others were saddened this week with the passing of one of our own, Jack Luby. We got to know him very well at Time Station 41 in Oxford and worked well with him, and we're saddened that he's gone. So our thoughts and prayers to his family.
Yeah, Jim, Jack and I had a common interest in Celtic music. We knew some of the Celtic musicians around, and it was always nice to talk with him.
Definitely. And some other news, our thoughts are out with Dex Took and his family. Dex was on a ride and had an accident, and we wish him well and to get better soon, and get back on that bike.
Dex was one of the people who helped launch this show.
Definitely.
Many years ago.
Yes.
Anyhow, and we want to talk about Freda Maska over there in India, who is doing the India West to East ride. You know, I think I don't know where she's at in it, but we look at the map of India and we just see this heart-shaped thing. And we think, well, that's India, but India goes way up there into the northeast. And from west to east for her is a long trip, 3,800 kilometers. We wish her well, but she is one tough lady. We had her on the show here some time back, and she's so remarkable. We wish her well.
Definitely.
She's working with WCA as well as Guinness to set records, and we wish her well. I also want to mention Lambdo. We did the trip. It was a little something different that we hadn't done before. But Jim, we didn't get to talk about until we went on the air. It was very well received. We had a lot of hits, a lot of comments.
Yes, definitely. I think you guys did a great job.
It was moving. I mean, when he found his family, and he had no idea he would find them. That was a moving thing to have happen. So let's go over, Jim, the World Time Trial as we now know them. I believe the 6 hours are in. So
correct. The men's 24-hour was Philippe Cater from Austria, 531.6 miles. Great job. And Ralph Dizencourt from Luxembourg, unfortunately crashed while leading and was taken to the hospital. And we wish him well and to get better soon. The woman's 24-hour, Meg Hakkinen from Canada, 478.8, second overall record. Great job, Meg. And I think she'll go ahead, Lee.
Go ahead.
I think she's going to be here with us next week talking about that.
Next week, same time, same bat station, 8 o'clock. We're going to have Meg and her partner, James Folsom, on. So while we're mentioning, let's mention the fact that he, I believe that is a woman's record. Now, I haven't been able to chase that down, Jim, for sure.
Okay, gotcha.
But I believe that's a woman's record, and I'm pretty sure that James set the fixed gear record as well, which is 415.2. So we'll be glad to have Meg's such a good guest, and she's been such a good friend of the show, and we'll have her here next week.
Yep. And the women's 12-hour, Maria Parker on a recumbent, 230.4. Great job, Maria. Men's 12-hour is Ray Collins from USA.
20 years in the 20-29 age category.
Yes, he did a great job. 271.2 miles. And in fixed gear this year, James Folsom, 415.2. Great job. Men's 6 hour, Kurt Holt, 145.2. And the woman's 6 hour.
I'll let you try that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Natholman Thrud, maybe, Norway, 132. And
we apologize if you screwed it up. Yeah.
And I think you got on here no record for women's recumbent prior to 2022. Sandy Earl must have it.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I didn't see a record for women's recumbent 12
Gotcha.
hour. So she was there. So if that's the case, she holds it now.
There you go.
And Maria's going to be doing some. Maria Vasquez has already sent me some videos on the 6 hour.
Exactly.
We'll try to get those up tomorrow or the next day.
We want to give a shout out to Georgie Stoichev. I think he was first in his age group also for the 12 hour.
Yeah.
And Doug Chevington did a great job, second overall in his age group. So great job by all those riders out there.
Yeah, and we want to, while we're talking about it, be sure to help us pass the word. That's what we're here for on UltraCycling. And when you help us, you help UltraCycling. That's simple as that. And if you give us likes and follow on Facebook, subscribe and give us thumbs up on YouTube. And while you're there subscribing, be sure to ring that
bell. Definitely.
That will make sure that you get noticed. That things are a little different on Facebook now. I think it's working well, seems to be. And we want to remind everybody who's watching out there to be sure to make your comments on either Facebook or YouTube.
Correct.
And we will post them here. And
thanks, Jerry, for commenting and watching.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. And hey, Jerry, come back again. Tell us where you're at.
Yep.
And if you can't think of any comments or questions, just tell us where you're at.
Definitely.
So, Jim, I'm going to bring Tony Goodnight in here. Hi, Tony.
Yes.
How are you?
Tony,
hey, guys.
how are you? Great to have you here, Tony. Thank you for joining us.
Caught you trying to take a swig of water or whatever there.
I just got off the trainer a little while ago, so trying to get the fluids back in and the salt back in.
We like to surprise people like that. And
definitely.
That's all right.
Rich, who's your night crew chief, right?
Correct?
For
yes.
2020. Jim.
Hello.
Gotcha. Okay, Tony, I know we're here to talk about your Raw 2023 attempt, but let's talk about a little bit about your background first and why you got into ultracycling. If you would, give us a little background on yourself.
I was afraid this was happening. Anyway.
There you go. Sorry.
That's all right.
Surprise.
No, we're good. No, I think it was 2001. I just decided I wanted to get RAM qualified. So I focused on doing brevets, some, or just trying out some distance stuff that year. I did. So it was actually 2001 when I did my first century, and that was assault on Mount Mitchell. And then I did another local century, which was bridge to bridge. The interesting thing, both of those were 7 hours on the bike. And then later that fall, I did a 200 miler to the coast with some friends. There was only about 5 or 6 of us. And so the next year I started doing brevets and worked my way through the 200, 300, 400, and 600K, and then decided, well, we'll try 1200K, in August. And so that one didn't go well because I had an Achilles issue. It was squeaking so loud. The rider beside me said, "What's wrong with your bike? Why is it making so much noise?"
There you go.
It was my Achilles. So I only got 580 miles of that 750. But let's see. So that was in 2002. In 2006, I finally got RAM qualified doing a 1200K. It took me 68 and a half hours total. So that worked out well. And it's just, my time on the bike has been up and down throughout the years, miscellaneous different injuries and work and life gets in the way. You know how that goes. And so we're back on the bike now for about 14 months after, almost a year and a half off. And so we'll see how it goes next summer. Hopefully, right now everything's on schedule, best I can tell. Had a little issue I still do some construction, even though I'm currently 68. And I pulled some attachment points in my hip
Ooh.
a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it's everything's it's good enough I can ride the bike now. So I think I've put in almost 20 hours this past week. So
Yep.
it's all working out.
Excellent, excellent. I know we were talking a little bit before the show, a little bit of issue about maybe electrolytes or something happening to you a while back.
Yeah, it was in the first part of July. I had been using the same amount of electrolytes for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
pretty well thought I had worked out where I had
Dialed in.
enough in
Mm-hmm.
so that I wouldn't cramp up. And I was out doing a 100-miler, and it was above 100 degrees that day. And yeah, I felt good the first 60 miles, and then all of a sudden, it's just a little bit after the second store stop. My heart rate just decided it wanted to start going up, and so I went up this just a little tiny hill, and all of a
Yep.
sudden the heart rate, I'd already changed the batteries out, and
Yep.
in the heart rate monitor, and just doing everything to make sure it was working right.
There you
And
go.
best I could tell, it was working right, and then all of a sudden the heart rate goes to 213, and I said, that's not right.
There you go. Definitely.
So I just prayed about it, and God said, just
Yep.
take it easy. So I had 20 miles to go. So I rode really easy for an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden it looked, the heart rate was doing okay. So about 15 minutes later, I stepped on it hard, and it was normal. And so it's been normal since.
Yep. I totally understand where you're coming from. Yes.
So I've been checked and by the doctors and everything
Mm-hmm.
at the VA, and they can't find anything wrong. And they're kind of amazed at how good condition my heart and
Mm-hmm.
general physical stuff is. And so they just said, well, if you have any trouble, come back.
Right.
And so as far as they're concerned, I'm good to go. And
Yep.
but basically the consensus is I wasn't getting enough of the right electrolytes. And so I
Yes.
did a sweat test later in July, and I
Mm-hmm.
found out that I'm losing 3,300 milligrams of sodium per hour
Wow.
at 77 degrees. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
also losing 4 pounds of liquid every hour. And that's only at 77 degrees on the trainer.
Right.
You can imagine what it's like outside on
Definitely.
on a hot day. So I've changed.
Yep.
I've changed the electrolytes I'm using. I'm using
Mm-hmm.
some Scratch Lab stuff and different
Yes.
things. And I think I've found a combination that seems to be working well because I'm not cramping like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really cramp much on the bike. It would usually be afterwards. But now, since I've changed my electrolytes and my
Mm-hmm.
fluid intake a little bit, it seems to be working much better. So I think
Yeah.
I'm on track that way. So
So
everybody, get salt tested, or sweat tested.
sweat
Find out how
tested.
much, get sweat tested and find out how much salt or electrolytes you're actually losing. I mean, they check the sodium, the magnesium, the
Mm-hmm.
chlorine. There's 4 or 5 different ones. And I use leveling because they'll work in most states where some of the companies won't test you because they
Right.
don't have a license for the state you're in. So check into
Right.
that. Anybody that's needs it. It's a little over $100, but I think it's well worth it.
Definitely,
To do
definitely
it.
important. Yes. I had similar. I was on the trainer one night, out of the blue, up into the 190s, and that's way out of my range for normal riding the way I was riding. So understanding it was all electrolyte based, etc. Same like you. So it's a good idea to get tested.
Yeah. Just
Definitely.
a real simple thing to do.
Yep.
So, just, let it, just follow the instructions and send it in, and they'll send you
Great.
the results back. So,
Excellent. Okay, well, let's get on to your next adventure here coming up, Raw 2023. What gave you the great idea to do that?
I've, been wanting to do something like that for a long time. I always felt like I could possibly do RAM, but
Mm-hmm.
I get a bad case of hot foot, and and I've been working on doing things to keep that from happening. So, why not start somewhere? I've done 750 a couple times,
Right.
and so I should be able to do 928. It's not that much
Mm-hmm.
farther. It might be a little hotter. that's my opinion. And having people like Rich that'll help take care of me, and my other crew chief, which is JD Stewart. I mean, they're both great people, and we've got some other people that are lined up for sure, but we're still looking for the right ones to help out.
Definitely.
Another guy that's going to be helping us is Andre Richardson. He's planning on helping us, and another one is Dwayne Ball. He's a great guy. And then
Yes.
another guy that's planning to help us is Dave Brillhart.
Yep. Excellent people. Excellent group to have around you. Are you planning on doing some training with the crews and everything coming up into the next 6 months or so?
Well, based on the way everybody's spread out, I've thought about what we're going to do there, and for them, a couple days before, I'm going to send them out, and they're going to do van swaps on their own, and then maybe we'll do one with me, but just to make sure it works with me, whatever they need to do, in that way. But I don't. They just need to feed me and give me fluids.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Gotcha.
It's up to me to pedal and tell them what I need, and I'm hoping that works out well. I don't think we'll need to spend much time actually, practicing. I've done several different events where I've crewed. I've been an official for RAM. I've crewed for RAM a couple times. I've done several 500 milers as a crew member, and also on my own. With a crew and without a crew. So I have a good feel for what it needs for that. And the people that I'm wanting to bring in to help crew for me should be fine with just basic, simple instructions. Just mostly, I'm more concerned about their safety than what they're doing for me. So it should be, so biggest thing is keep them safe, and they'll take care of me from that point.
Definitely. Rich, how did you get involved with this endeavor?
Well, my wife is a cycling nut. So, we just put the Psycho 48 on a couple weekends ago. She's an endurance cyclist, and she's done notches a couple times, once solo, once with crew as myself and Mark Poland. And then so, I've been taking care of her, and then whenever we did Sebring this year, and so I'm good for about 3 people as long as they don't come in at the same time. So I had her, I had Joe Barr. I was helped with him and Jill, Mark when he was running. So it's I'm an EMT as well. So everybody's volunteer out here. So. But so I just been, I'm a rider as well, but not to that level. So it's 2 new knees and a new hip. So running out of body parts. So,
there you go. Hey, still can do it though, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
excellent.
We did a ride. Yesterday was a Cotton 100. I did 63. She did 100. She was flying with the group of like 7. So, so, and then today I broke my bike. So,
oh no,
yeah, popped the spoke. It actually blew the wheel out. So,
wow,
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a first. So
there you go.
But no, I've known Tony for probably 5 years now. I'm guessing. He's ex-Navy, so it can't be too bad. And then,
there you go. Thank you for your service.
yeah, we both are.
And
so.
you just did the Psycho. You just did the Psycho 48, didn't you, Rich?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Did you do the 48 hour?
No, I ran it. Carol and I. So.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. It was our scare of the night. My scare, anyhow, is I pulled up on an older guy. Laying in the ditch.
Oh no!
And it was up. I mean, the whole ride is remote. It's really remote.
Right.
So and he's laying in the ditch. Oops, sorry about that. And I thought, oh no, he got hit by a car. And so I pull up. He pulls it up, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I was tired. I just need to take a nap." I'm like, this is 3:00 in the morning. We had
how to put a chill in the spine of a race director.
Yeah, it was. We had 75-ish riders. No wrecks. Well, we had one guy fall over in the pit, but that's that happens. Right. And then no wrecks. And the 48-hour people, they started with 7, I think, or 8. They finished with 4, and the 4 did the whole thing. So the winner on the normal bike was 75 minutes of sleep. So for 2 days. So we Amazing. Had one guy on a trike and 2 guys on recumbents. So, but it was Excellent. Good. Everybody had fun.
Great job.
Nobody got hurt. A lot of wind, but
hey Jim, we'd like to hear from some people out there. Tell us.
Definitely, yeah. Let us know
if you got a question of Tony or
Rich,
or you just like to tell us who you are. We'd like to hear from you. That's Definitely. What makes this fun. Is you guys out there in television land? Is that how we say it, Jim?
There you go. Out in the streaming world, the internet.
YouTube land.
There you go. Exactly. Tony, do you have any plans coming up before Raw? Big races or rides or anything coming up?
No, I just need to focus on, getting me ready training wise. It does better if I don't do intermediate races because I ride too hard when I go to a race and have a tendency to hurt something. So gotcha. I'm just going to get myself ready and then, show up early and be rested and, going for that. I'm also an RBA, which is a regional brevet administrator for Russia. And so I've got a bunch of events planned for other people this year through bicycleforlife.org. It's all spelled out. But, they're anywhere from a 200K up to a 1200K. So I have people from all over the world come in and do my events.
Excellent.
So I get to meet a bunch of different people that way. And, I get to see what other people and how they do and what they need. So, I enjoy working with people and helping them whenever I can,
Yeah, exactly. So. Do you have any advice on somebody that wants to get into ultra or beret or anything like that, how to go about it?
As far as that goes, anybody that's, wants to get started, you've got to put time on the bike to get used to the bike. You also got to work your way up through the distances. For me, the first 3 years, doing 600, 200, 300, 400, 600 every year, it just, something new showed up on every one of the longer ones, and you just have to figure out what your body's going through. One issue I had was somewhere between 200 and 250 miles the first 3 years. I didn't want to be out there anymore. So I had to mentally get through that. After the first 3 years, that just kind of went away. So, gotcha. Different people have different issues. Physically, you're not bad ones, but, they will keep you from, finishing if you don't deal with them properly.
Definitely. Excellent. Now, on your training, do you do most of your training outdoors or on a trainer inside, or is it a mix of both?
I get better results if I just stay on the trainer inside, but during the summer months and stuff, I get outside a whole lot, but I still do a little bit on the trainer. I've been more or less coached for forever, and I know what works for me. I've tried some other coaches, and they tend to break me. Because they don't understand me, and but I know some coaches are good at what they do, but it's just
it's kind of like anything. It's what works best for you.
Yeah, and you can. I know what I can do to take myself to an edge and not break something or not hurt something or pull something, and get my recovery. Recovery is really important for anybody that's trying to get themselves up to that point. And, because, I do work for myself in several different ways doing stuff, I can adjust my schedule as needed so that I can get out whenever I need to get out. Or it's like today, I spent 5 hours on the trainer, just doing a particular plan that I have that I'm working on. And, the biggest thing for me and for anybody else, I think, is just time on the bike. You got to get the seat time.
Seat time, yep.
Especially if you're going to try to do the long stuff.
Is your preferred platform Zwift or RGT or one of those, or do you just do your own thing?
Um, Well, I have I have a couple bikes and I have a couple smart trainers and,
Mm-hmm.
I've got a TT bike and a climbing bike and I do different things, workouts for each.
Mm-hmm.
I run Zwift in the background just to get credit for it, but
Gotcha. Okay.
I have my workouts, run the trainer and
Yep.
adjust the resistance or the load as needed.
Yep.
I can do any route or that I want to throughout the country. All I got to do is put the file on my Garmin. I like
Yep.
Garmin. I like the way it works, and then let the Garmin control the trainer. As far as a training platform, I like how Trainer Road works. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's useful. I think it's helpful. You still got to pay attention to how you feel. And
Yes.
if it's working you too hard, you back off a little bit. You pick an alternate, and it will, it'll make adjustments automatically. They've done a wonderful job over the last several years, developing that plan or that their training plans. They've got
Yep.
thousands of of actual workouts, and I,
Excellent.
I don't want to downgrade anybody else, but there's a lot of people don't like that. It's too
Yep.
new school for them.
I
So
understand.
you know, but I know any plan will work for the basic improvements as long as you follow it properly
Yep.
and
Excellent.
have somebody guide you through it that knows what you're doing, or what they're doing.
Hey, Lee, you're muted.
My cough button was uncoughed.
There you go.
Tony, you've been over the RAM route, so you kind of know what you're facing. What what part of it are you most anxious about, concerned about, or think a lot about?
One of the biggest things for me is I got to behave myself that first to the first time station, so I don't burn myself out.
Mm-hmm.
It for me. I just got to more or less, stay in a power zone that works for that, and then after I get past that point, and still go from there. I don't need to be, you can't get in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta last for almost 3 days if
There
you
you
take the
go.
full time. But if you want to try to get close to any of the records, you got to stay close to the edge that works for you without going over the edge. And it's like today, I bonked after the first hour because of how hard I was working. I know how
Mm-hmm.
to recover from that, so I recovered from that. And then at 3 hours, I pushed it a little too hard, and I bonked a little bit again, and so I made adjustments. And so, the last hour, the fourth to fifth hour was fine. It's just a matter of getting the right nutrition and fluids
Mm-hmm.
in at the right time, and also keeping that power down it's where it needs to be so that you don't break the edge.
Yep.
As
And
far as other places, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was
Finish your
just going
cut.
to say, I mean, as far as on the route goes, I mean, obviously everybody has to deal with the heat, so
Mm-hmm.
and that changes from year to year. So, you've got to I've seen people, not getting enough fluid and need to go to the hospital and get 3 or 4 bags of fluid,
Mm-hmm.
just, right whenever they got their Borrego, they recover, but they can't finish the race usually when that happens. So
Right.
you've got to keep that stuff going in regularly, and then you've got to take the nutrition in that actually digest. I mean, different
Mm-hmm.
people. I'm severely lactose intolerant, so there's a whole lot of things that I can't eat, just because of that.
Right.
Same, but when you get in the hills, you just got to again pace yourself going up the hill and don't overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still cooling issues and stuff that go on. And I've seen people have lung issues,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping I don't run into that issue there myself. As far as I know, my lungs are good. So I don't know what to say about that other than I've just seen it happen. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's where,
Well, you really never know because you've seen the best of them fall victim to some of that kind of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I
so,
always tell
yeah,
people if they DNF, you've joined a very elite group of people. that have DNFs in the past. But yeah, Jim.
I just real quick, based on your comment, I'm assuming you kind of basically do your riding via wattage, or do you do heart rate also, or just how you feel, a perception level?
Well, there's a lot of theories out there, and there's a lot of good research out there. I think for most people, if you have power on the bike, and I think that's probably the best way to go, is actually seeing what's going on and plan your workout so that you know exactly where you're at for what you're doing for wherever you're at in your training block. But also heart rate is it's very important too, because zone 2 heart rate is different from zone 2 power.
There you go.
So you got to have a basic understanding of how those work together. Because you can actually get improvements in your heart rate and not hardly get any improvements in your power once you get to a certain point. But if you can get your heart rate where it works better, then you can ride more comfortably, at a particular power level for a longer period of time. So you've actually got to train. You can't just train the strength. You got to train the systems so that they work well together. That's my opinion.
No, you're correct. I think you're very on it. Excellent. Lee, do you have any final questions or anything?
No, but I wonder if Rich has anything he wants to chime in here with.
Yeah, the what I've on all this stuff that Carol's done and people that I've helped with, your crew, keeping their mind in the game, because usually that's their worst enemy is their mind. Their body will do whatever you tell it to, so until it just craps out. But to keep them focused and keep them safe too. That's the biggest thing. So, the old guy in the ditch, he needed 15 minutes, then he did 2 more laps,
Right.
But he's got to find a better place to sleep next time. So, but,
there you go. Definitely.
Yeah, but no, your mind is your worst enemy out there, because it's telling you to stop, and there's no reason other than, well, there are reasons, but you know what I mean. So,
right.
But over the years of watching Carol and everyone else, that we're an elite group just because we're crazy what we do. So
yes, we are.
Yeah, it's like the when Carol did the 444, and it was like 24-3 whatever hours it was. It's all right, you're not doing this again. So and then, 2 years later, there she was. So
there you go. That's why I always ask when they get done with RAM, you got to do it again. It's always no, and then you see him back.
Oh yeah.
I always say no. And have you made a hotel reservation for next year?
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's about
Been
it.
there, done that. Well, hey, listen. Thanks all of you for being here.
Yes, definitely.
Appreciate that. We wish you well on Raw.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll be watching as we always do, everybody. And
if you guys are at Sebring, we'll see you at Sebring.
Cheer everybody.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be there. So
okay, we'll be there. Yeah,
be sure to look Jim up.
I met Jim
and
last year
say hello to him.
Yeah, definitely. We were right next to you almost for the
yeah.
So,
okay, and thank you so much. Hey, remember, folks, next week. I don't have her name there. I screwed up. I gotta undo my screw up, Jim, on this graphic. But Meg Hakkinen is going to be our guest next week, along with her partner, James Folson. And I believe, we know Meg set a record for the women in the World Time Trial, and I believe James did on a fixie.
Gotcha.
So we'll have both of them with us next week. So
excellent.
Thank you all for being with us. Thank you for watching. And be sure and give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscription, and hit that bell.
And get the word out about UltraCycling.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Jim and Lee also for all they've done over the years, just helping the RAM and the whole UltraCycling community. I appreciate you guys inviting us on to visit for a little bit, and it was good talking with you.
Hi, Georgie.
Hello, Georgie.
We do it for the love of the sport and to watch you great guys cycle, guys and gals cycle.
It's little enough, and it's a family, as we know.
Yes.
Everybody knows Georgie, and everybody, we know one another, and that's great.
It's a
I
great
think
family.
that's one of the shows thing has done. Hey, we got to get out of here because I think Greg's about ready to go to sleep or something if we
There
don't
you
wake him
go.
up and get us going. Hey, don't
Hang
go
on,
away.
guys. Yeah.
Don't go away, guys. When we go off there, we'll be right with you.
All right.
Okay.
This is Gregory Zuber thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.